Right, time to start building myself a Hellbrute. So, a bit of a complex build, this one, because what we have is different weapon options available to us. We've also got to, build the core body, the core legs, and so on. So, in order to make it easy, I've kind of played this so that I've coloured different sections together just to make sub-assembly easier and to understand what's going on. So I'm actually going to start off, this is the only problem with this kit, I literally have to bounce between all three sprues in order to do this. So let's start off with the basics. I've actually got my instructions here to help myself out, and we're going to start by building the main torso. So, we need to get out number 7. And then I've decided to go for head number 11. And then we need this tiny little part here, number 10. All these little bits cleaned up. Now I have to admit, this is going to probably be not the quickest build. And it's not helping the fact that this thing is insanely spiky. I mean, like, literally everywhere there's spikes. Right, let's have a look how this goes together then. So it's a bit of a weird one. You've got a kind of... Right, let me get this the right way around first. I think it's... There the horns go at the top. The head is kind of popping in this way, poking through at the front. Then it seems like this is going to slide in there, isn't it? Yeah, like so. So at first this is quite loose and wobbly by the look of it, and not really secured in. Just to make things difficult, it's not an easy little bit either to position. But it's an absolute pain to position this thing. There we go. Right, so that head is unfortunately not solid and not locked in place at this early stage. Okay. Now I need to get out parts 1 and 2. Some models are such a hard one to clean up because of the weird shapes of so many parts of it. Right, let's get that together now. Like so. Right, and then what we need to do is we need to get some... Oh, this is what I mean. I hate it when you're having to jump between different parts. Right, number 8 and number 9. so much easier when parts that go together are next to each other on the sprues, but obviously I can imagine that they need to maximize space, so they kind of have to sometimes put things all over the place. Okay, so we've got this little tiny bit. This is kind of popping upwards, I think. It's just finding where each bit goes in. So that is... So this feels like it goes up here. Just making sure I've got that the right way around. Making sure I've actually got the right piece out. That's an easy mistake to make. Do you know, it helps if I wasn't holding it upside down, wouldn't it? There we go. If I wasn't holding it upside down, that would have been a lot simpler. Yeah, so there's a little notch where it naturally fits, like so. Okay, this part. Right, this is... Let's have a look at this. Yeah, that part's at the top. Seems to be designed to pop in somewhere around here. You know what, I'm going to try and put this bottom one on first, and when I've worked out how this bottom one goes on, I'm hoping that the top one will go a lot smoother then. Yeah, once again, I've been holding things upside down, that's why it didn't work. It's going to be one of those, this model, where you turn it and then you realise that you've turned it upside down. And then like this, it'll dry fit. Okay, gosh, yeah, there's definitely, it's like a bit fiddly, this one, and I imagine that it's going to be very easy to accidentally have bits falling off if you don't let them dry properly. Part 18 now. I do like their Hellbrutes as a concept. You know, that the idea that most Chaos Space Marine Dreadnoughts have been corrupted and basically gone insane. But there are some examples of Chaos Space Marine Dreadnoughts that are still functional, for want of a better word. Such as the War Sage from Talus's Warband. Can never remember how to say his first name, but yeah. There we go. Cool. Spine. Crazy spine popping out. Right. What else do we need? We need 22 and 23. Do 22 first. These two look too similar to be guessing which one goes where after I pull them out. So 22 goes on this side by the look of it. Let me just make sure I got this right again. So looks like it pops over there. This is simple. And then 23, I'm going to assume then just pops on the other side. Okay, 25 and 27 now. These are quite a little bit. I'm gonna so 25, kind of like these weird little exhaust, and 27 go together. Let's get these done first. This thing is fiddly as hay. I get my fingers working now. I think I've just done too much today. I've been doing too many things and I've let my strength ebb from my fingers today. I think I need to stop after I build this. Okay, this is one of the little exhaust ports. On that side, and then let's get the other one out. Just make sure that that's sat properly as well. Now 26 and 24. Right, now we've got to pick basically a front frame. So these are, let me find them now. Here we go. Too many sprues. You can basically pick any of these, 2021 and I think number 19. I've decided to go for this one, number 20. So this thing is like so, frames the top of it. Make sure I get it on the right way. And then I need number 17, which is the bottom of this frame. Again, just finding which sprue it's on. They don't make this easy, do they? Don't want to make life easy, do they? They want us jumping all over the place, and this one's going to be a pain if I try and cut it right out all the way in. So, like so, and then I get this bit. This one on there. Okay, right, so that is our core body now built by the look of it, and we can move on to the legs. So I've plotted the legs out in, what was it now, pink to make my life easier. No, it wasn't pink, yellow. Start off with 81 and 82, which are the main legs. Let's have a look here. Right, there we go. Nice and simple, that part. Now I need 87, which is a crotch plate. Let me find it. 87, there we go. So many parts to this, so many little bits to do. So now feet, here we go. 85 and 86. So 86 on that side, 85 on this. To the right. Now, I'm just filling this here before I actually glue that down, because I think there's like a couple of pistons that need to go on the back of the leg as well. And if I glue those feet down too quickly, I think I'm going to end up with those pistons not quite sitting. So let me find piston number 89. Here we go. There's piston 90. Just get that one out ready. Make sure I've got these the right way round on there. Right, let's get that one on, and then you also need to put that piston up in there. Yeah, like so. That's how it should go. And then the same on the other side. Piston ready, pop on like so, and then that pops into the back of that leg there. Now we need 83 and 84. Let me find them. Over here. Right. promised myself if I get this done today, I can potentially, when I get home from work tomorrow, make a start on the premium kit. Right, let's have a look here. I think this one goes on this side somewhere. See what you got is you got like a little notch where they sit into. So here and here. And what I think matters as well is make sure that you get them on the right side too. So the one with the kind of gargoyle face goes here. And this one goes on this side. So it's a pain this, because I see, because you've got like this horn, you need to pop it over the little horn on the leg as you go in, and it fits like so. There we go. And then part 88 around the back of it, which is this one here, the rear plate. I would not be surprised if in the next few years we get an, I don't know how old this Hellbrute model is, off the top of my head, 2013, so wouldn't be surprised if we get an update on this in the next few years, because even I can tell from building it, it feels small. Like, it feels as small as the old Dreadnought model is. It's got very short squatty legs that the old Dreadnought had, and I suspect that it's going to look very tiny when you compare it to more modern kits, when really, if we were to argue it's based upon something like a Leviathan Dreadnought's frame, yeah, it looks so tiny, this thing. Look how tiny it is. It just doesn't work, does it? Yeah, I like it, but my goodness, it's barely bigger. I mean, it's smaller than the Contemptor Dreadnought. It looks, it's just too small, isn't it? Look at that. When this was made, it was probably big, but this thing is tiny. It's just got nothing to it. It feels just like underwhelming. It needs an update. Right, I think that's the body and the legs. Now I've got to carry on and build weapon systems. So, following my magenta, I'm going to build the plasma cannon. So, need to get out 49 and 50. Yeah, I mean, it's disappointingly small, this thing. It doesn't stack up. In fact, I'm reasonably confident that if I went away and got a couple of obliterator models, so if I went away now and got myself 2 obliterator models, I reckon those obliterators would almost be standing as tall as this thing is. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm reasonably confident I'm not. It's a good looking model, but it's too small. I've often said to myself, I need to do a video on the issue with scale creep, how it doesn't always make things look bigger. It makes older miniatures just look too small by comparison. but it doesn't always solve the it doesn't solve the problem that they were trying to solve, which is, like, say, Space Marine models look too small considering how they're described. It just makes older models look ridiculously small by comparison. Right, let's get 51 out. Now this is a tiny little part over here. Get quite a few of these 51s, and I think what this is all about is it's to give you different arming options. If you know what you're doing, you could potentially magnetize this whole kit. Goes here. Right, let's get this popped in. Right. Okay, 28 and 30 now. So, where are we now? Lost it. 28 and 29. There we go. I don't know why I jumped to 30. 28 and 29. Didn't take me long actually to find online, the alternative weapon loadout. I'm going for the whip because I think it looks really cool. It's like, though, while I'm kind of talking about the scale creep as well, they're bringing out Satyrine soon with the Satyrine Terminator armor. And unfortunately, that's going to cause a bit of the same problem of scale creep. It's going to make a lot of people want to buy it for the Satyrine Terminators. What am I doing here? Did I get the right parts out? So I've got this part, like that. This part's got to click into it somehow. There we go. That's how it goes together. There. So it's going like that. Yeah, and again, they're bringing out new Terminators with them. The new Terminators, the Satyrine Terminators, don't look the normal size of Terminators. They look huge. 50. Oh, what are we looking for? Not looking for 56. I am looking for 30. Where are you now? Just got to find it now. Part 30. I swear it's rebelling against me now. Here it is. It's over here. Yeah, and along with that, they're bringing a new Dreadnought out for Horus Heresy. The Satyrine pattern to Dreadnought. Both of these things are beasts. Like, I reckon that the Satyrine Terminators are potentially clocking something close to this in size. Maybe slightly smaller. As for the actual Satyrine Dreadnought, I believe, by the look of it, it's going to come up to a Brutalis. Again, they're making them big to make them look cool. However, I don't think it's going to have the effect that they want. It's not going to make them look like big models. It's just going to make everything else look small by comparison. It's my personal view about scale creep that it needs to actually calm down now. It needs to stop. Bigger isn't always better. You should agree a size of something and then find every way possible to work with that size. Okay. Now I need part 6. Yeah, so this model's got me really thinking an awful lot about scale creep and the issues with it, and how it doesn't always fix problems. Like Primaris are a prime exception. They said, oh, I'm going to make Primaris. I'm going to have these huge Space Marine models. Everyone was like, cool, sure. I like the idea of a big Space Marine model. But unfortunately, if you then look at the Imperial Guard that have been released since then, well, they've scale creeped a little bit. Anyway, the problem is sometimes scale creeping isn't as good as you think it is. And then there's some things that have gone in almost the opposite direction. So on the Rogel Dawn battle tank, they tried to scale down the size of the guns. So they've made the tank bigger, but the actual guns are smaller. Which means that now the Lehman Russ turrets look ridiculously oversized. And so on and so forth. There's just a lot of things that you have to think about here that I don't think they always do. Right, 32. Let me find 32. It's a kind of this here. Piping. If I can get myself hold without spending a fortune some of the new Saturnine Terminators, I'm going to get them together and I'm going to do a scale creep video and talk about my opinion of it in more detail. Okay, and the guns on this thing look quite big, don't they? And again, you've got to watch out for that, because then the gun looks very big compared to the rest of the body. Right, let's start building these arms. So, starting out with 99, I'm going to go for the whip, basically. Don't get me wrong, kind of like the hammer on the Hellbrutes as an idea. 65. Let me get 65 cleaned up, because there was an actual Chaos Dreadnought. One of the Chaos Dreadnought arm options was actually a great big hammer, so it's kind of cool that they kept that in the Hellbrute. I'm pretty certain whips were also a thing. Okay, so 65, get 66 out now. Get this together right. Unfortunately, I've got no instructions to follow to do this. I'm just having to have a quick glance before online, but it's going to be difficult to look at those instructions while my camera's rolling. Okay, so 65, and then I need 67. Just kind of guessing which ones go where almost. See, now looking at them, good thing is the notches, for want of a better word, seem to fit together. Right, I'm just double checking. I am 100% certain that this one goes here, like so. I'm going to find out pretty quickly if I'm getting this wrong, aren't I? Actually, just double checking. Could it go here? Yeah, actually, it feels more natural there, doesn't it? Hope I'm getting this right. I have no idea. If I have to start pulling things apart in a minute, I'm going to learn, aren't I? This is why it's hard to do these things without your instructions. You're kind of half guessing and just basically saying, well, does it feel right? Does it seem to sit? Okay, get number 70 out here. Right, this. This one feels like it goes here. Right, what else do I need? This one here, number 68. Oh, my fan's gone off and now it's absolutely boiling. That doesn't fit in there. I wonder where it actually fits then. This is why it's not good to do guesswork, eh? Right, let's have a quick look what else we've got. I'm going to work this out. Right, 71 we got here. See, there's always a slight chance that I've put one of these on too early without realizing. This is intriguing. I'll work everything out. Okay. Are there any others that could potentially go in here? So I've got 69, haven't I? Now 69 looks like it definitely goes on the end of this one. But the question is, what goes here? This is where I'm like, okay, I'm just kind of guessing now. I'm guessworking and hoping things go in the right place. This. Right, if I put one of these in the wrong place, it just feels like at least one of them is wrong. Right, one of these is in the wrong place, definitely, without a doubt about it. You see, this one just feels like it should go here because it's a square. Triangle. However, I seem to have extra ones of these. I see where I'm going now. It's all right, I've worked it out. So that one goes there. Right, I think I've worked this out. So that one, I'm pretty certain, does go there. So that one with the flick goes in there. Confident of that. We've got to get it in the right place. Now this one, I'm hoping, does. Pops on that underside there. So basically there's a final notch under there that seems, as far as I can tell, to perfectly fit that one. What a pain this bit's been. This is why deciding to do it your own way, go against, not do something without instructions, is not easy at all, I tell you that. Now I've got to try and get this bit in here. So, then get this. That one into position. That one into position. This one looks like it's bent out a bit now, but that looks good. Just trying to make sure that that last one there is right, because however I put it, it feels slightly off. Right, there we go. That one's connected to there properly. That one like that, and that one like that, and there we go. That's our lash arm. It wasn't easy to do that without instructions, I can tell you that. Why create work for yourself? I don't know. You just do sometimes, don't you? Right. Now we've got to get the actual proper arm connector in. Oh. Just kind of give this a chance to dry off. Now, here's the question. Which of these does it naturally connect to now? Because I couldn't find that on the instructions anywhere. Which arm joint to use? I was kind of looking around trying to find it, but there was no obvious one. I think I guessed it was this number 64. That's why I've marked it out. So let's hope it is. As I said, at this point I am kind of doing a hell of a lot of guesswork and hoping that I'm doing it right. There, yeah, thought so, 64. So, now, this of course then has to attach to one of these arms. It's just finding out which one. There we go. Number 3 is how it's Yeah, number 3. That's its natural connector. So put the right bits together. There. Okay, then over the top of that, I think it's number 59. So I'm getting this on the right way around. Let me just double check. So this is the thing, it's slightly different, this one, from the other shoulder guard. So I can't even use that as a general guide. I think feels like that way up's the right way. Okay, we're doing it. We got it. I managed to build this very complex whip arm with no instructions in front of me, which I'm really pleased about. Come on, go on in. Stick. There we go. Look how, see, to me, my opinion is these weapon arms look far too big for the body that they're on, don't they? It just seems like a very small body to have these massive arms. I'm not normally this critical of a model, but I just feel I need to be in this case because it just doesn't feel right when I look at it. You know, it could just be me being a bit overly harsh. Also feels like there's a part here that I haven't identified that connects this to the rest of the torso. Some kind of cabling or something that needs to be added in. Now the problem is there's so many of these that it could be basically complete and utter guesswork about which one it is. I think though before I was looking at number 59 and I was reasonably confident that it is 59 that bridges the weapon to the body. The reason behind that is because it had that big wide bit for there. However, that's no guarantee of anything. It looks right, but it's if it bends into that position correctly. See, it fits on there, but it just doesn't connect the rest of the way. Now, I do have another alternative, which is number 60. Let's see if number 60 does the job. Unfortunately, at this point, I'm just kind of guessing because I couldn't see that on the instructions anywhere. Again, sometimes when you're going without instructions, you are just going on a best fit guess. Yes, it's number 60. Going from there to there, like so, filling that little gap in. Okay, now just going to make sure that I haven't missed anything off, but I think that is everything. Yeah, that is it. That is our Hellbrute completed. The good thing is doing the other weapon options isn't actually that difficult. If you were feeling brave, you could potentially magnetize this, although I'm going to admit I don't feel brave enough to magnetize this. I think that would be a massive investment of time for a model that's not going to get a lot of tabletop time just due to my other commitments. But there we go. So if I just kind of put him on his base now, and as I said, I'm just going to bring in one more time why I have an issue with this. This thing really is struggling with scale creep, isn't it? You can just say, if you compare it to a Contemptor Dreadnought, which is already quite small when you compare it to a Brutalis Dreadnought, and remember, these are supposed to be on the same battlefield, and yet it's twice the size. When really this thing should at least be the size of a Contemptor. I think it should be bigger than a Contemptor personally. I think it should, you know, it's based upon the old Dreadnought. So basically this was designed to be the same size as the old 40k Dreadnought. But scale creeps come along and made everything bigger, which is good to make certain things look better, but what it's done in this case is it's caused this Hellbrute to feel tiny, and you know, I can't really explain it any more than this, than by say putting, you know, a librarian next to it. So if you look at a Terminator from 40k, it's almost as big as a Dreadnought, Hellbrute Dreadnought. It shouldn't be. It should be bigger. The Dreadnought should feel intimidating on the battlefield. Unfortunately, this thing's so small. I feel really critical. I like the model in a sense of the way it looks. It just feels too small now. It only feels slightly bigger than an Obliterator does. So I'll leave it at that. Anyway, we're almost on an hour. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. See you for the next video.